All right, Shalom, Yashala, Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Waha Rakakodash Barakatham. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Akwat out there listening. Um, this occurred actually it's still going on, I believe. This occurred close to a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, about Jake who follow Ben Ami over there, in Israel, which we know, that's our land, but it's not aligning with prophecy for our people to be over there like that. And that's what Jake had did, which, I brought this out. The video would give definitely great insight and the time they moved on and so forth. It's about a 4-minute video. I may pass along through it. It's not too long. But it's according to prophecy why we can't be over there, man, at this particular time. And it's crazy because a lot of these groups who proclaim to be Old Testament, they should know that, especially according to the gifts and the curses. If you a Jake who, I don't know everything they may follow, but if I'm not mistaken, they may be solely Old Testament. But if not, I do, retract those statements, and definitely don't want to just basically don't want to be putting out the wrong information out there. But if I'm not mistaken, they might solely just follow the Old Testament. If not, I do sincerely apologize, but it clearly states in chapter Deuteronomy, I'm gonna get that after this video plays, that, hey man, we're supposed to be driven out, man. Okay, we're not supposed to be in that land until it's been cleansed, man. First and foremost, till Yahweh Shah Mashiach gets back, man. And then we'll be over there, man, in righteousness, man, in order, okay? I'm going to let this clip play, and then I'm going to get some scriptures.
The Israeli town of Dimona doesn't have many claims to fame beyond lending its name to a nearby nuclear reactor that some allege is part of a secret weapons program. But now Dimona is back in the news. It's home to a community that calls itself the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. Now, this is a group of African Americans who believe that they are the descendants of one of the lost tribes of Israel, in their case, Judah, and they see Israel as their spiritual homeland.
We feel that this is our legitimate ancient homeland, ancestral homeland. We can document these things culturally, historically. We can document the fact that many of us are actually genetically, culturally, historically connected to this land. We answered this call. We want to be part of this light that prophetically was to go forth in these very dark times on the planet. And we know that we have that contribution to make. And we've made that contribution for 50 plus years here in Israel. And we're known amongst the people. And these are part of our family members who, over the last 25 years, have become deeply intertwined with us.
This African-American expat community, the largest in the world, has lived here for just over half a century. But now roughly 100 of them are facing imminent deportation. Israel's Interior Ministry says they're in the country illegally and has rejected their requests for residency.
We had about 24 of our family members, friends, associates here who received letters of deportation, intent to deport. And these were cases that had been in limbo for the last 2 decades, 2.5 decades in some cases. And so they were given, to our great surprise, they were given a 60-day notice, 21 days to appeal. Deportation notices. Certainly, outside observers have acknowledged the fact that racism is an element within the structure of the Ministry of Interior.
Dawn now has just 60 days to get out of the country, a place she's called home for decades. Her children, all of whom were born in Israel, also face imminent deportation.
It's very disturbing to me to think that my children will be deported from the land of their birth. They've never lived anywhere else. This is the life that they know. And as an adult, this is the life that I know. I've spent most of my adulthood here in Israel. I'm surprised because our community has been here for 53 years. We have been a very vital part of the Israeli society. Our children serve in the IDF. Any aspect of the Israeli society we're a part of.
Others feel they're living in Israel on borrowed time. Their tourist visas expired years ago.
All of us have some degree of issue with the Ministry of Interior in terms of taking some unusually long time to get what you would expect to do to you in 3 years, 4 years, 4 months. It's always something. The difference is that some of us are already in the system and are moving, at least, we thought, in a positive direction. The Ministry of Interior, especially under the dominion of the Orthodox parties, has always seen us as something other than. We're not seen as Jews. It's always something else. We're outside of the law, and we're unincorporable into the family of the houses of Israel. And we know that there are many different versions of Judaism, many different communities with different historical and cultural differences that find a way to get along. How come we can't fit? We're committed to this land. We've committed ourselves, our futures, our children. 100% of our children, when they graduate high school, they serve in the IDF. We've represented Israel in academic, in sports, in cultural events around this world.
The community has come a long way in the 53 years since a former factory worker from Chicago arrived here with some 30 of his followers. Devoted and committed to Israel, they practice all Jewish holidays and festivals, eat vegan, and practice polygamy. Although it's only a small percentage of the community that faces deportation, everyone here is upset and has vowed to stay put. Paula Slier, RT, Dimona.
Hey, man, we're not supposed to be back in that land, man, till Yahushua Mashiach returns, man. Okay, to the righteous branch unto King David, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, starting at verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come up upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither Yahweh thy power hath driven thee. Verse 2. And shalt return unto Yahweh thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. Okay. This especially verse 30, when it says, whether Yahweh thy power have driven thee. Okay. Now, granted, we've woken up to the truth, but we're not. It didn't tell us to go back over there, bro. It didn't tell us to go to change our citizenship. That's not of Yahweh Bashem Yasha. For one, they don't come in that name anyway. They of course, a lot of things is off in the video. Jake, we're not just from the southern kingdom, and Judah, that's it, that's all. No, that's not it, and that's all. Also, okay, because of course you could tell, things are off. They're more than likely speaking Yiddish. I believe a lot of them who were over there also had to fight in their army, man. Israeli army. What the hell is an Israeli, man? Verse 2. And shall return unto Yahweh thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thine soul. Okay, the Most High didn't tell them to do that, man. The Most High has not said to go back to Israel. Okay. Verse 3. That then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh thy power hath scattered thee. Okay, it definitely wasn't talking about that in 1969, man. Okay, we under, of course, alluding to prophecy, man. Starting with Abba Bivens, Jake had started to wake up in the, mid 60s, late 60s, early 70s, you know, but the move wasn't to go back to Israel, man. It's all prophetic, man. We're still in captivity, man. You know, spiritually we breaking free, and we're looking through the spirit past the West, okay? Because our people our people are through, man. You know, because a lot of Israelite sects here can't see past the West. But then here the problem with this video is like, bro, nowhere did it say it was time for us to go there, man. Yeah, I know, flee Babylon, uh, bro, but it's talking about spiritually, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, bear with me, Baba Shah. This is Jeremiah chapter. Oh, Salaki, I'm tripping. This is Isaiah chapter 48, verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans, with the voice of singing, and declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, Yahweh hath redeemed his servant Jacob. Okay, what is talking about right there is to spiritually flee, man. Okay, we're to spiritually flee, man. Bring out this word, preach, get the word out. We weren't ordained to move back and fight in an Amalek's an army, get a visa. Nowhere in the scriptures does it say that, but in the scriptures says what? Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans, with the voice of singing, declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, Yahweh hath redeemed his servant Jacob. That's coming to this. That's for us waking up, man. Okay, getting into the spirit, man. Like, man, because first and foremost, matter of fact, I'll go to verse 17. Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am Yahweh, thy power, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. And not one time did it say to move to Israel, man. Okay. So you telling me that the scriptures is telling Jake to move to Israel, man? It says that doesn't say that in the scriptures, man. And that's why they through the spirit, that's why they catching hell over there now. And I believe they've been catching hell since they've been there. Yahweh Shah Mashiach, when he gets back on the scene, that's where everything gets put back in order, man. Until then, it's not gonna pop, man. This is back in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 4. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. Okay? He will fetch thee. Okay, and that's what we're in the process of now. You got brothers everywhere, man. You have Israelites waking up everywhere, which is beautiful, man. You got brothers around the world, man. Four corners of the round earth, which is a beautiful thing, man. Verse 5, and Yahweh thy power will bring thee into the land. Let me reread that. Verse 5. That's definitely the key point. And Yahweh thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. Okay, it all has to go by prophecy, man. Now, what was the first Jake who was talking, who looks like he was the head of it? I heard him mention prophecy, but the prophecy hasn't told us to go there, man. Okay, verse 6. And Yahweh thy power will circumcise thine heart, la'ab. Okay, that means the your mind, man. Okay, not the organ of your heart. Okay, and the heart of thy seed to love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Now, granted, Jake not supposed to be over there right now due to the curses and prophecy, but this is definitely adding on to their judgment, though. But because they're dwelling in their land because the Most High said so. Those speaking on those Amalekites, man, or whatever they have going on over there, man. Okay, we're going the curses are going to be put upon thine enemies, man. You Edomites, okay, you Hamites, anybody who's ever wronged Yasharallah, they're gonna get dealt with through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Verse 8. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. Okay, so that's pretty much it, man, because you could clearly see, man, that's why the apostles and the elders on down, that's why we say GMS has the 100% truth, man, because now you see how these guys just that wasn't the best move, man. That body that they have going on, they didn't fully think that through. Now they're potentially being transported, losing visas, and we understand what the intentions may have been, but that just wasn't that wasn't the move, man. That wasn't being very prudent, man. It just wasn't a wise thing to do, per se, So we definitely want, as I've read, our brother's eyes been edifying. As I've read, man, verse 5, I'll reread that and close out again, and I'll close out. And Yahweh thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. Okay, so it's not time for us yet. We're close, but we're gonna receive that land the right way through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Okay. Once again, I hope this was edifying for the Akim and Akwath. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Waha Rakak Dash Barakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Akwath out there listening. Shalom.